Okay, everyone, so a bit of a preamble before we get into the actual topic. The Attack on Titan video I uploaded last week got some traction, and overall I'm proud about what I put out because it wasn't supposed to be this big explanation about things, just this little tiny video on my thoughts on this one little aspect of it that ruined the ending. So overall, I'm really glad it happened. I'm really glad it got a lot of views. I'm really glad it set a conversation forward. However, in the comment section, I saw one prevailing theme. Lots of people were saying that the Eldians of Paradis did in fact try to negotiate, and thereby it left Eren with no choice but to go forward with the rumbling. To which I commented back with varying responses. And that's cool because when I started becoming a creator, I said to myself, I was going to be a creator that commented back to everyone who comments back in good faith. One, I like it when the creator of a video I enjoyed or didn't enjoy and comment on comments back to me, so let's pay that forward. And two, because it's anime and I like debating anime. So anyway, I did comment and I liked all the interactions I've had. One in particular presented a hypothetical that I really had a lot of fun with. With that being said, when a video gets too big, it's hard to comment back. It's like a never-ending game of whack-a-mole. And since most of the comments were basically some version of, actually they did negotiate and exhaust all their options, so Eren was justified, I figured let's make a response video so everyone who did comment knows where I stand on this point. So let's get to my response, but before we do, be warned, spoilers now. So if you haven't watched Attack on Titan or read Attack on Titan and you don't want it spoiled for you, this is your chance to peace out. Okay, so I think where most people get this line of thinking is around chapter 123. This is the chapter after Eren gets the Founding Titan's powers, where we're treated to a flashback which gives us some events of what happened before the Liberal raid. And in this flashback, they get to the continent of Marley where a bunch of things happen. For example, Sasha, Hanj, and Coney do their best Nogueira Brothers impression and say hi to a car like it's a horse. Look that up, by the way. And they party with some marginalized people from the Mideast. But they do other things, and the most important thing that they do is that they attend the unveiling of the association to protect the subjects of Ymir at the International Forum. The association is what they're going to be called from now on for the sake of brevity. Now, the thing is, I want you to key in on the word attend. Not speak with, not make inroads with a member here or there, not infiltrate as an undercover staffer, not actually set some sort of plan in motion, or show us that some negotiation took place and it fell through. Just attend. Okay? Cool. The context here is that the scouts don't want to go with Zeke's euthanization plan, which, of course not. So since the association is also being oppressed and threatened by Marley, the hope here is that the scouts can eventually convince the association that they want peace in order to align with them to protect each other from Marley, thereby creating peace. Keyword, eventually. So they attend the association meeting, and while they're there, and by the way, have not talked to anyone, have not attempted some sort of plan, have not necessarily even thought of a way to regroup and go forward, okay, they've just attended. Keep that in mind. Now, while there, some politician in the forum goes on an anti-parody screed about how the parody Eldians are all devils, and he's met with cheers, causing Eren to abandon the team, write a letter saying that he's entrusting Zeke with everything, and the rest is history. Now, let me say as an aside that this part is absolutely stupid in general. There's a really small creator named Annieverse574 who made a really similar point already, so give him a view and subscribe. But I just want to reiterate this point. Imagine being oppressed by a certain group of people because of your race, and they can only succeed because they have access to a game-breaking power. And then by the grace of God, there is a group of people who would like to align with you to protect each other from the oppressors, and they have access to the same game-breaking power the oppressors have, as well as have developed technology to counter that power, and you say no. Maybe this isn't a one-to-one, but it would almost be akin to England and Russia telling USA to stay home during World War II. Absolute idiocy and awful writing, but that's irrelevant to the point I actually do want to make here, but just keep that in mind. But, okay, fine, let's take it at face value. The association's current position is that they're anti-parody, right? But going off of this flashback, they do not even know what Paradis' position is on things yet. The scouts have not executed any plans in an attempt to get some people on their side. And you expect me to believe that the same hero who one time yelled at an entire courtroom during his execution trial to trust them, the same hero who convinced an entire brass of a conspiracy, and the only way to uncover it is to risk their lives to go to some basement. The same hero who convinced the senior members of the scouts to save his friend over their long-standing commander. And the same hero who was a main reason a new government was installed. And let's not forget, he's the same hero who tricked a genius by pretending to go along with his plan and then caused the rumbling in the first place. Heard one racist rant and thought, yeah, allying with them is beyond my capabilities. And let's go to the scouts because I think they're also written pretty poorly here too. You expect me to believe that this is the same group of people who laid down their lives to beat the military police and get the public of Paradis on their side when the public of Paradis was against them for the majority of 2 seasons? All of a sudden, they can't carry a plan out without Eren. Do you see how stupid this sounds and how this shows a lack of effort on the part of Eren, the scouts, and the rest of Paradis, considering that they've already displayed a million times more effort and sheer perseverance at every turn? Now look, at the end of the day, it's like this. When you have already presented your characters to be capable and then display them to be incompetent without setting up proper circumstances as to why this is the case, this is textbook character assassination. You know, for as much as I hate Talk no Jutsu and think it's really dumb and presented as corny, I mean, never mind the fact that a villain has spent decades with something, one talk will change his mind. Yeah, come on, dog. But anyway, for as dumb as it is, it at least presents a world where Naruto is attempting some sort of negotiation, and it presents a world where people can, and oftentimes do, change their mind, which is more representative of what actually happens in the world than Attack on Titan in this one aspect. Yet Attack on Titan is supposed to be the smart real world parallel, right? Do you see what I'm talking about and why this doesn't count as a negotiation? And I know what people are going to say is that you don't want Isayama to do your homework for you. It's more than sufficient enough to show that a negotiation wasn't going to work or that it did not work. Based on what? Was there some sort of narrative text box? Was there some sort of panel that showed them trying for months on end? Do you see what I'm talking about? There's nothing to suggest that they even tried. In fact, there's more evidence to suggest the contrary because Eren disappeared and wasn't seen until the Libero raid. And before you bring up the 50-year plan, don't do it. I encourage you to go back and watch or read Attack on Titan and see what happened with it before you come and comment about the 50-year plan. Now, I don't think the rebels are going to end here because I know people are also going to say they did set up proper circumstance because Eren can see the future and travel in time. That's why he let his mom die and that's why he let Sasha die. So I don't get it. And okay, I don't want to sound mean when I say this, but I honestly thought we were smarter than this because it's just bad writing. First of all, nowhere does it mention that he saw multiple timelines. He just saw a future timeline, which means he can attempt to change a timeline if he truly does not like it. It's not established in stone. And I know there are people out there who think it is set in stone and that Eren had no choice because the future was already predetermined. But when you stop to actually hear the reasoning as to why they think this is the case, it's because Sasha died and said the exact words Eren saw in a vision. But let me ask you this. Then why would he orchestrate events and influence people in his past to bring about the mass genocide? A lot of times we just hand wave his explanation of letting his mother die as him seeing a different timeline. but we don't have it established that he actually did. We also hand-wave Sasha dying as this confirmation that it was set in stone and he had to cause the rumbling. Yet we don't have an explanation as to why he orchestrated events to cause the rumbling in the first place. However, what I will say is, you know what we hear and see from Eren himself? He makes it clear that the Founding Titan has made it so that there is no past or future that exists in his head. It happens all at once. So Eren might not even have the answers of what he's supposed to do. Meaning, Eren can be wrong, which makes his actions look psychotic, foolish, and lazy. In other words, Eren did not try. And that would be fine if Isayama just went the full way with turning Eren into a villain, making this truly a message about the ills of extremism. However, instead, Isayama makes Eren the wish version of Code Geass's Lelouch, so Eren can look more sympathetic, while also just casually mentioning that he killed 80% of the world's population. Like, no big deal, but I've effectively sent the world back to the Stone Ages. By the way, the anime writers had to go in and fix that part. You see, Armin just kind of casually just waves it off as just a number. But in the anime version, Armin takes that 80% dead number a lot more seriously. Take with that what you will. And while we're on the topic of Isayama's writing, the worst thing Isayama did is give Eren the power to see the future and affect the past. Because in the same breath, Eren can change everything, however he can't change anything because Isayama only wants him to change certain things to maintain the plot, which is just awful writing. But this is where I think we get into the heart of why I think the ending sucked, and not just what sucked about it. Isayama has said that he's always wanted this ending, but I think somewhere along the line, Isayama lost passion for the project. I personally believe it was due to burnout, and again, I'm saying burnout, not that he was rushed or anything like that, okay? And I think he was burned out by a combination of things, but at its heart, I think he felt trapped by the manga. So yeah, he made the ending he wanted, but he didn't properly flesh out a path to get there in a semi-plausible way, and I don't think at this point he even cared to do so. He just wanted it to end. By the way, this isn't simply in regard to his ending either. He does this a lot with other concepts, like he made this concept of the royal family, most likely a commentary on monarchy and government. His commentary on self-hatred through the Eldians is also an example of this, and I could go on and on. But here's the thing, all of them follow this path of him introducing a thing, but because he's not passionate enough to keep going forward, he just leaves it on a vine without properly fleshing them out. And if you're a fan of Attack on Titan like I am, this can be looked at as kind of a betrayal. Okay, maybe betrayal is a bit much, but let me put it to you like this. While I can empathize with the loss of passion for a work and can definitely empathize with burnout, I can also point out that this has been a 12-year journey. Some people grew up with this anime, transitioned through life milestones with this anime. So coming to grips with an ending like this can be a slap in the face. That's tough. So what I think Attack on Titan fans who are upset do is one of two things. They'll either come to grips with it eventually, understand that it is what it is, and keep it pushing. Acknowledging that the journey, which is Attack on Titan, was sweet and it meant a lot to them is admirable. So while the ending could have been better, we'll live. Or, if you're fan number 2, you'll deny that it was a bad ending at all, and get mad at all those who say it was, even when they bring up good points like, I don't know, the dilemma of rumbling versus euthanization wasn't actually properly set up for it to be a true dilemma. Sounds like someone we know came up with that point, doesn't it? But alas, I digress. At the end of the day, anime is subjective, and as long as you're civil, debate all you want. For real, debate all you want. But just know, I'll be here to debate back, because I like doing it. Okay, I think that's a good place to end it. Thanks for watching if you did, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Well, I can't really see you, but you get what I'm trying to say. Later, everyone.